Another one of the amthal, or the parables that are found in the Qur'an, exists also in Surah Al-Baqarah. Towards the very end of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes actually two groups of people. Ones who, when they give freely, and ones that when they give, they're expecting something, or they ruin their charity in some way. And in this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually gives the example, وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. And in ayah 265, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and the example of those that spend their wealth, ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ, who are seeking the approval of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَتَثْبِيثًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ, and they are seeking it as a means of benefit for themselves, كَمَثَلِ جَنَّةٍ بِرَبْوَةٍ أَصَابَهَا وَابِلٌ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they are like the ones who have a garden on some sort of high ground. And here this requires a little bit of conversation. Once again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encouraged us to understand what is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because in it are signs for us to understand our deen and our own actions. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about not all gardens are the same. There are certain gardens that are protected and certain gardens that are not protected. And this particular idea is the garden Jannatun bi Rabwa. It's a Jannah that's found on higher ground. And there's some benefit of it. Anyone who's actually ever farmed before knows that some of the best fruits of dates and olives, it's actually found on hills. Not like in the mountains necessarily, but on a hill. Because on a hill you end up with a very interesting atmospheric condition where it's not too hot and it's not too cold, because there's more winds there. There's more perspiration on a hill, but it oftentimes doesn't flood. If you're in a trench, for example, if rain comes, good, the water might collect there, but it might rain like crazy and it'll flood your entire crop. Or if you're in too high of an elevation, what happens? If you're in too high of an elevation, well, maybe the weather is so severe that nothing grows properly because it might be too cold. But if you're actually in elevated ground, you benefit from not being flooded. You have more perspiration to begin with because water hits at the top areas first. So it's a very good area to be in. And the other thing that it allows it to do is the most diverse types of fruits can grow in those areas, but also they're protected from the normal things that are going on with everyone else. And why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say this is like the one who gives charity? Well, think about the one who gives charity. The one who gives freely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're not necessarily as concerned by their own wealth, because they have enough of it to do what? To give some, seeking benefit and seeking blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who gives charity is not like the one who doesn't give charity. Someone who doesn't give charity often, they might be doing it out of stinginess. What does charity do? It addresses stinginess. It makes us that what I have in my home or in my hands isn't the worth of who I am. It's actually my capability. I have the ability of giving, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless me with more afterward. It's like the person who has a crop on high ground, that they're not worried about droughts, they're not worried about massive rainfalls nearly as much. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even continues, فَآتَتْ أُكُلَهَا ضِيعَفَيْنِ, that its harvest is actually doubled. فَإِن لَمْ يُصِبْهَا, and if rain doesn't fall on it, وَابِلٌ فَطَلُّوا وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ, that even if it's not hit by it, even a drizzle is sufficient. And Allah is aware and of what Allah knows exactly what all of you do. So the idea of the one who gives, when Allah restricts their rizq just a little bit, you know what doesn't change for that person? They don't start saying, oh, Allah has abandoned me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will actually comment on this particular example elsewhere in the Qur'an, where there will be people who, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses them with wealth, they will say, Allah akraman, Allah has honored me. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qadra alayhi rizqa, reduces their wealth just a little bit, they will say, Rabbi ahanan, Allah has forsaken me. But this is not for the person who does what? Who gives charity, because they're like that garden planted on high ground, that it's not as affected by the conditions around it. Whether it's receiving water or whether it's receiving even little water, it allows to still give yields that are productive for the one who planted those seeds. And that's supposed to be our idea of when we give, those who spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are not like those who don't spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how we appreciate this, and sometimes we get the commentary, the stages of life that maybe all of us are in, is we're broke. Look, we have loans, we have all of these things. How are we supposed to give? It's not just talking about giving with your wealth. It's also talking about giving of your time. It's also talking about giving of your efforts. Those that give, they actually fortify what? Their relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether they are enjoying blessings and literal rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sustenance, or they are not, they are stable in that moment. Just like that crop that's planted on high ground. It has the ability of withstanding anything the environment throws at it, versus the crop, and that's going to be found later, that's not on high ground, that's not on good soil. It's actually going to immediately be affected by whatever conditions are around it. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us like that garden that is planted on high ground, so that whether we're enjoying benefits, we have the attitude of the believer that says Alḥamdu-lilāh, or whether we're not enjoying benefits, we have the ability of recognizing this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but my iman doesn't change as a result of it. Ameen Rabbil Alameen.